Today I want to talk about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now it has had its opening weekend and is currently on 120.5 million at the box office, which is a far cry from the first film, which was 36 million, I believe. 35.6, I was close. But this has been a success for Sony. It's exceeded box office predictions and is doing well. It's another family movie this year which is doing well. Super Mario Bros. Did extremely well earlier this year, and now this seems to be doing good at the box office, even though it is aimed at a slightly older audience, whereas Mario Bros. Was aimed at the family audience but with younger kids in mind. This is aimed at the family audience but with slightly older kids in mind. And both have done well at the box office, proving that there is a want for these types of family movies. But this is going to come at another blow to Disney, as the Little Mermaid live action, which is their family movie they've released, hasn't done as well. Yes, it made 117 at the box office in its opening weekend, but that was across 4 days. So that's less money than what Spider-Man has taken, but with an extra day. So there's no way around it saying that The Little Mermaid has done worse than Across the Spider-Verse. So with Sony having a sequel to this already planned, they'll be very happy to know that the audience is there for it and it has done extremely well. So just having a look at this article, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse swings to huge 120.5 million box office opening. Elsewhere, Little Mermaid is docked at number 2 in its second weekend. A new horror pick, The Boogeyman, is looking for a third place finish. The sequel opened to 120.5 million, well ahead of expectations, and the third biggest opening ever for an animated film, as well as the best ever for Sony animation, not adjusted for inflation. It's also the second biggest opening of 2023 to date. The movie, which easily came in at number 1, boasts both stellar reviews and audience scores. Across the Spider-Verse played older than a traditional kids animated movie, with 67% of ticket buyers between the ages of 18 and 34. And like almost all superhero films, the pick skewed male 62% according to Post-Tank and intelligence reports, and the film enjoyed the most foot traffic of any 2023 release behind Universal's Super Mario Bros. Movie. And the accolades don't stop there. Across the Spider-Verse's opening was 3 times as big as Phil Lord's and Christopher Miller produced Into the Spider-Verse, which opened to 35.6 million domestically in 2018, on its way to becoming the box office sensation and topping out at 384.2 million worldwide. So it's very safe to say that Across the Spider-Verse is going to beat what Into the Spider-Verse had taken. I think it will easily more than double that once it's all done. The Little Mermaid docked at second place in its sophomore weekend with an estimated 40.6 million from 4,320 theatres for a domestic total of 186.2 million. The live-action movie fell 58%. The Disney Empire also took third spot on the box office chart with the new horror pick Boogeyman. The 20th century pick, based on a Stephen King story, is looking at a solid domestic opening of 12.3 million. And Marvel and Disney holdover Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 passed up Fast X in its 5th weekend with an estimated 10.2 million for a North American of 322.8 million. All told, Disney claimed 3 of the 4 top spots on the domestic charts, which when you own as much stock as what Disney does, and as many production houses and film studios, that's not hard. But I think Disney will be feeling the bite of this because, as I say, Little Mermaid, which is a family audience, has done nowhere near as well as what Spider-Verse looks to be doing. And I imagine Disney will be wondering why. Because one of the biggest defense of why Little Mermaid was underperforming, especially overseas, was review bombing and racists. But Miles Morales is a black character in this movie and audiences love it and they're going to see it and it's making a lot of money. So it's not really a narrative where Disney can push on that one anymore. Oh, believe me, they will try, or they will come up with another narrative to push for why Little Mermaid isn't performing as well as they'd hoped. I do think Across the Spider-Verse will lose number 1 spot next week. I believe it is Transformers that is released next week. I fully expect that one to take the top spot, but I do think Spider-Man will keep going for a while longer. So Sony will clearly be enjoying the success of Across the Spider-Verse for this week and for the next few weeks to come. Disney will now be looking ahead to Elemental, their next Disney Pixar movie, in hopes that that will do well at the box office with the family audiences. But I believe that is estimated to be taking somewhere between 30 and 40 million on its opening weekend, which won't be good for Disney. At the minute, Disney can't seem to get anything right regarding their family audience movies. They all seem to be underperforming. And at some point, they are going to have to look at what they're doing and try to turn it around. Disney does have a lot of capital, but at some point, the way they're going, the money will start running low. The theme parks do bring in a lot of money for Disney, but they do also need that movie revenue. And family audiences is where Disney built its reputation from, and it just can't do it anymore. The live action remakes aren't doing well. The new animated movies aren't doing well. And then your two best animated movies and family audience movies this year are Super Mario Bros., which dominated the box office when it came out, and Across the Spider-Verse, which is currently on 120 million, and that's only 60 million behind live-action Little Mermaid at the moment. So I do believe that will overtake it in the next week, maybe just over. But these studios are capitalising on the success of the family movie by producing entertaining family movies, while Disney is scrambling and struggling putting out movies which they've not really focused story to the forefront. They've focused agendas and messaging to the forefront, and the story's taking a hit and families seem to be turning away from it. And Sony and Universal, Illumination, DreamWorks, they'll all be happy to soak up that excess audience which Disney's lost. But what do you guys think about this? Have you seen Across the Spider-Verse? Is it a good movie? Are you glad it's doing well? Do let me know in the comments below. And that's all from me. I want to make a fresh cup of tea.